What's going on, guys? Andy Grossman here with Pew Pew Nation, and I'm out here at the range today, and I got some new stuff to test out. So I've been doing a couple videos here, but I have the new RCR from Trijicon. Clean that glass up a little bit there. There it is. It is the new RCR, the new closed emitter RMR, I guess you could call it. They're calling it the RCR, but there it is. It's got the battery on the top there. Same footprint as the RMR. It's got the same window pretty much on the front as the original RMR, so a little bit smaller glass, a little bigger glass in the back. Closed emitter though, so you're not going to be having all kinds of stuff stuck to your optic and blocking that emitter on like an RMR and things like that. Obviously the advantage of a closed emitter. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of closed emitters because I think they're ugly. I just do. I know it's not a popular opinion. I know you guys are going to comment that I'm an idiot and blah, blah, blah. But I just think they're kind of ugly, especially on top of a pistol, like a smaller pistol. It's just kind of ugly. It really is. Like, it is. It's got a cool factor to it as well. This is on the Echelon, obviously. But I just think they're kind of ugly on guns, on pistols. So, but with that being said, there's some unique features on this gun, on this optic, I'm sorry. This thing has a 1 MOA dot, which is really cool. It also has this really unique screw system that Trijicon came up with. So I have the screws right here. I'll show you in just a second. But you can see that the screw holes are flush and cut into the actual side of the optic, which is unique. A lot of these optics have their own footprint that have to be like cut in, almost like a pick rail style. This doesn't. This mounts on any slide that's cut for an RMR, which I think is an awesome idea. Now, the screw system. Now that is kind of a different story, but kind of not bad at the same time. So let me grab one of these long ones here. They give you a bunch of different screws. They give you some long ones, some short ones. All of them are flat on the top, as you can see there, with a whole bunch of little tiny holes, and hopefully you can see those holes there, but a whole bunch of little holes in them. So the way that these things mount is you put your optic on, obviously, and it sits there. Actually, before you do that, you kind of have to put your screws in to the little recesses on the optic itself, this is the trickiest part of the whole thing, I think, because you got to get the screws to stay in there and not tilt it too much for them to fall out. So I think you guys can see that there. But you get that all lined up on your slide, obviously, and now you have to use their little Allen that they give you, and you put it in the hole and you rotate super slowly. It takes a long time to get this in there because you only have like a half a rotation and then you got to get them to start, which these ones are, of course, being a kind of a pain in the butt right here. I think I got that one started actually. Let's see if I can get this one started. And once you get them going, then they go in just like anything else pretty much, which is not a big deal. I feel like you have to kind of do them together. Like you don't want to put one all the way down and then start screwing in the other one. You kind of want to do them at the same time. But as you can see, this is kind of a pain in the ass. But once it's mounted, it's not a big deal. So keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm almost there, I swear. I swear I'm almost there. But what happens now is, this was my question to Trijicon. So I'm tight, right? I'm there. That one's snug. Let me snug this side real quick. And what happens now, though, is I'm like, well, how do you torque this thing? Like, you can't put a torque wrench on it. You can't really torque the screw down. It's like, well, what do you do now? So what Trijicon came up with, and honestly, it's kind of hilarious in a way, but it works. They give you this in the box. And what this is is it says, once the fastener ceases rotation, use this guide to flex the hex key an additional 4 lines or spaces to ensure proper torque. You scan this QR code on the back in order to get some more information. So you literally stick this thing under the optic like that, right on the edge there, and it goes under, like just under the screw head. You put your wrench in there, in the hole, and once you get it in a hole, you have to flex the wrench 4 extra turns. So I actually have to get into this hole somehow, or 4 extra marks. So you can see on there, what I do is drop it. Try that again. Like I'm saying, this is not easy to do. You get your wrench in there, and you can see that where it's at on the marks there, and you take it and you flex 4 marks, and that is your torque spec. I don't know how precise that actually is, but that's what your torque spec is according to Trijicon. So then you do it again on the same side, or on the other side, I'm sorry, and you go 4 marks with your flexing of a Allen wrench. I still don't really like the idea of how that works, but that's what they say works. So, and then now you got it on your slide. So you got this thing on. It is same thing like an RMR. It's all adjustable. I mean, it's on there pretty good. It feels super sturdy. It's a little heavy, honestly, for my liking. But I really didn't like that whole mounting system at first, but then I started really thinking about it, and I kind of don't mind it. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is there's not a whole lot of purchase on from the screw to the actual optic. There's not much lip right there. There's enough, obviously, but there's not a ton. There's not a ton of metal there. So obviously over time we'd see how this thing went. I'm gonna go throw a mag through it and see how it does. It is not sighted in at all. I haven't touched it. I pulled it out of the box and I'm gonna go try it out. So I'd really just am more looking at the dot itself, which is a 1 MOA, very, very nice dot. It points really well. It's easy to find. It's super dim right now. You could turn that bad boy up, and it's really, really easy to point. So I'm gonna go shoot this thing and see how it does. All right, so I'm gonna see how this thing does. The RCR from Trijicon on top of the Echelon. Again, I didn't sight this thing in or anything. I'm up 25 feet or so here on steel, and I don't really honestly care if I'm hitting at this point. I wanted to shoot this thing just to see how the dot looks, how it points, how it feels. I honestly, I don't, like I said before, I don't like closed emitters on pistols like this necessarily, but it's kind of growing on me on this gun. It doesn't look bad. So let's see how she shoots. She points really well, I can tell you that much. I mean, you are instantly, you find that dot, and apparently I'm pretty much on. I can't complain about that. I did not sight this thing in. I put it right on top of this gun and started shooting at 25 feet with this thing. And I think I missed 3 on the steel there. It's shooting a tiny bit high, but it's so easy to acquire that dot. It's only a 1 MOA dot. It's super crisp. I'm talking crisp. Like, there's none of that, like, vignetting, that glow around the dot. It is a super, super crisp dot, and it just instantly, you pull this thing up and you're on target. Bang, bang, it's just there. This thing is amazing. So out of the 2 new optics, the RMR HD and the RCR, I've tested them both on this gun. If you haven't seen the RMR HD review, make sure you go watch it over on YouTube on the other video. And I'm gonna go with the winner of the new optic between Trijicon is the RCR. And I don't really like closed emitters. I don't think they did the greatest job on that RMR HD. I think it was kind of a, like, yeah, let's just rebrand the SRO as an RMR and throw it out there and redesign it a little bit. This thing is pretty legit. I like it. It feels really good. I thought it was a bit heavy, but honestly, on a pistol, it doesn't feel that heavy. I wasn't a huge fan when I first pulled it out of the box of how it mounts. I kind of like it. Like, everything about it is growing on me. So the RCR, pretty damn legit. Make sure you guys check them out, Trijicon.com. And make sure you like all these videos, subscribe to my channels. Make sure you check out the Pew Pew Nation podcast over on Spotify and the other YouTube channel. And share it, all that good stuff. Follow us on social media. And check out pewpewnationusa.com for all your American-made patriotic apparel. We'll see you all later. Make sure you stay safe out there and carry every day.